Have you ever looked at a massive fluffy cat, and wondered if its ancestors used to sail across stormy seas alongside fierce warriors? Hi, welcome back to Paw and Order. My name is Carl, and today we are exploring the majestic history of the Norwegian forest cat, a breed famously known as the real Viking cat. Long before these gentle giants became beloved household pets, they were working animals living in the freezing lands of northern Europe. They are famous for their giant size, thick coats, and incredible climbing skills, all of which helped them survive the toughest winters alongside historical explorers. Today, we will break down the true reasons behind their legendary Viking nickname, and learn how their wild past still shapes their unique behavior. We will look at this history through simple facts, and easy steps to understand what makes them truly special. To truly understand this cat, we have to look at the harsh world they were born into. Norway is a land of massive mountains, deep fjords, and winters that can freeze the spirit of any ordinary animal. The weather is brutal, with heavy snow and freezing winds that last for months. Only the strongest creatures could survive in these dark, cold forests. Over hundreds of years, nature selected the toughest traits, creating a cat that was built like a small tank covered in fur. This environment forced the cat to become incredibly independent and resourceful. They had to hunt in deep snow, climb giant pine trees, and find shelter in frozen rocky caves. Because they survived the exact same cruel winters as the ancient Norse people, the human settlers developed a deep respect for these animals, seeing them as symbols of survival. The story of how these cats got to Norway in the first place is a great historical mystery. Experts believe that the ancestors of these cats were actually brought to Scandinavia by traders and travelers from southern Europe and the Middle East. When these shorter-haired southern cats arrived in the cold north, they had a very hard time dealing with the snow. The ones that survived were the ones that carried genes for thicker fur and heavier bodies. Over generations, these cats mixed with local wild cats, or adapted naturally to the freezing climate. This mix created the modern Norwegian forest cat we see today. They became completely different from their warm weather ancestors, growing larger, stronger, and much more resilient. It was this new hardened version of the cat that eventually caught the attention of the Vikings, who realized they had found a perfect partner for their long journeys. When the Vikings built their famous wooden longships to explore and raid new lands, they faced a massive problem that could ruin their journeys before they even started. Mice and rats would sneak onto the ships, hiding in the dark cargo areas, where the food supplies were kept. These rodents would eat the grain, chew through the heavy ropes, and spread terrible diseases among the crew. In the middle of the cold ocean, a rat infestation meant starvation or sickness for the warriors. The Vikings needed a solution that was fast, quiet, and effective. They realized that the large cats living in the forests near their villages were perfect for the job. By bringing these skilled hunters on board, the Vikings created a safe shield for their food supply. The cats became an official part of the crew, protecting the ship's resources during long voyages across the Atlantic. Life on a Viking longship was incredibly tough, and it took a very special kind of animal to survive the rocking waves and wet conditions. The Norwegian forest cat was uniquely suited for this dangerous lifestyle. Unlike many cat breeds that absolutely hate water, these cats developed a water-resistant coat that kept them dry, even when ocean waves crashed over the side of the ship. They had heavy bones and strong muscles, which allowed them to keep their balance on a moving wooden deck during violent sea storms. Their incredible climbing skills meant they could easily run up the wooden masts and ropes to chase down rats hiding in the upper parts of the ship. They were fearless in the face of the howling wind and loud ocean, proving themselves to be just as brave as the human warriors who steered the ships into unknown territories. The connection between these cats and the Vikings was so strong that it even entered the world of Norse mythology and religion. The ancient Norse people believed in a powerful goddess named Freya, who was the ruler of love, beauty, and fertility, but also a fierce warrior who rode into battle. According to the old legends, Freya traveled across the sky in a beautiful, heavy chariot that was pulled not by horses, but by two giant, fluffy cats. These mythological cats were described as being so large and powerful, that they could easily pull a goddess through the clouds. Historians believe that these legendary cats were based directly on the real Norwegian forest cats that lived in the Viking villages. This shows that the Vikings did not just view these animals as simple tools for catching rats, but as magical, highly respected creatures connected to the gods. One of the most unique features that helped these cats earn their Viking title is their incredible, heavy-duty winter coat. This is not just regular fur, it is a highly engineered defense system against the elements. The coat has two distinct layers that work together to keep the cat warm and dry. The inner layer is a thick, woolly undercoat that traps the cat's body heat close to its skin, acting like heavy winter clothing. The outer layer consists of long, glossy guard hairs that are naturally coated in oil. This oil makes the outer coat completely water-resistant, causing rain and melting snow to slide right off without soaking the skin. They also have huge, tufted paws that act like natural snowshoes, spreading their weight out, so they can walk on top of deep snow without sinking. Beyond their amazing coats, these cats possess physical skills that make them look like professional stunt performers. They are famous for being one of the few cat breeds in the world that can climb down a tree headfirst. Most cats have to back down a tree because of the shape of their claws, but the Norwegian forest cat has incredibly strong hind legs and powerful thick claws that allow them to grip the bark and walk straight down toward the ground. This skill was vital for hunting birds and squirrels in the tall pine trees of Scandinavia. Their bodies are built for sudden power, with back legs that are slightly longer than their front legs, giving them massive jumping strength. They can leap high into the air to catch prey or jump across large gaps between rocks and branches, showing a level of athletic ability that perfectly matched the physical culture of the Vikings. To look at a Norwegian forest cat is to see an animal of impressive size and structural strength. They are classified as one of the largest domestic cat breeds in the world, with adult males often weighing up to 20 pounds or more. They have a solid, muscular chest and a long, sturdy body that takes up to 5 full years to completely grow and mature. Their heads are shaped like an equilateral triangle, with large, expressive eyes and ears that feature long tufts of fur growing out of the tips, similar to a wild lynx. This heavy structure gave them a massive advantage when fighting off larger pests or surviving accidental falls in the rocky wilderness. They carry themselves with a natural confidence and pride, moving with a heavy but graceful step that commands attention wherever they go. The seasonal transformation of these animals is another fascinating step in their survival strategy. During the hot summer months, the cat sheds a massive amount of its heavy undercoat, leaving it looking much slimmer and sleeker so it does not overheat. But as soon as the autumn wind starts to blow, their bodies react to the dropping temperatures by rapidly growing back the thick winter fur. They develop a massive ruff of long fur around their neck that looks exactly like a heavy winter scarf, along with fluffy breeches on their back legs. This dramatic change allowed them to adapt to the wild swings of the Scandinavian climate. The Vikings watched this happen year after year, marveling at how seamlessly the animal could prepare itself for the worst conditions nature could throw at it. As the Viking Age slowly came to an end and the longships stopped sailing across the seas, these cats did not disappear. They transitioned into a new role as the primary protectors of Scandinavian farms and homesteads. Norway's economy shifted toward agriculture, and farmers quickly realized that the old ship cats were excellent at keeping barns and grain storage areas completely free of rodents. The cats lived a semi-wild life on these rural properties, sleeping in haylofts during the winter and hunting through the surrounding fields and forests in the summer. They were highly valued by farming families, who treated them as essential members of the household. This long period of rural farm life helped keep the pure breed alive and strong for centuries, preserving the exact physical traits that had made them so useful to the seafaring Vikings. Despite their incredible history and strength, the Norwegian forest cat faced a terrible crisis during the 20th century that almost wiped them out completely. During the difficult years of World War II, the numbers of purebred cats dropped dangerously low, because they were constantly mixing with common domestic shorthair cats. The unique genetic traits that gave them their giant size, and water-resistant coats were starting to fade away into the general cat population. Realizing that a living piece of Norwegian history was about to vanish forever, dedicated animal lovers and breeders in Norway formed special clubs to protect the animal. They searched the country for the last remaining pure forest cats, tracking them down in remote villages and deep mountain areas to start a careful breeding program. Their hard work saved the breed from extinction, ensuring the Viking cat would live on. The ultimate comeback for this legendary breed happened in the late 1970s, when King Olav V of Norway officially recognized the historical value of the animal. He made a royal decree naming the Norwegian forest cat the official national cat of Norway. This high honor boosted the breed's popularity instantly, turning them from a local farm cat into a celebrated symbol of national pride. People all over the world began to notice this magnificent animal, fascinated by its wild looks and rich historical background. Soon, the breed was exported to other countries, winning top prizes at international cat shows, and capturing the hearts of pet owners globally. Today, they are cherished not just for their ability to hunt, but for the incredible living link they provide to the ancient world of the Northmen. What surprises most people who meet a Norwegian forest cat today is the contrast between their fierce, wild appearance and their incredibly sweet personality. Despite looking like a mini lion that just walked out of a freezing forest, they are famous for being gentle giants. They are deeply loving, patient animals that get along wonderfully with young children and other household pets. They are not overly demanding or loud, preferring to communicate with soft, gentle chirping sounds rather than loud meows. They love being near their human families, often following them from room to room just to see what is happening, but they also maintain a calm independence that keeps them from becoming stressed when left alone. This balanced personality makes them the ultimate modern companion, combining the soul of a wild survivor with the heart of a loyal friend. It is clear that the Norwegian forest cat earned its legendary nickname through real historical action, mythical status, and incredible physical survival. They are the true cats of the north, built by the snow, carried by the waves, and loved by the fierce warriors who shaped the history of Europe. If you ever have the chance to pet one of these magnificent creatures, you are running your fingers through the exact same thick fur that kept a kitten warm on a rolling wooden ship 1,000 years ago. Thank you so much for joining me today on this deep dive into history. I am Carl, and if you enjoyed learning about these incredible animals, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Paw and Order.